Craig, I'm not sure where you stand on Doctson, but I'm kind of over obsessing on his stats because one, I think I can finally look at him and say he was overdrafted at number one. I think he was 18 or 19. I can't remember exactly where he was picked. So he was overdrafted, and he's now in a bad system where he's not really being featured and can't actually show what his talents are, which are basically going up for, fighting guys for 50-50 balls, winning those battles in the red zone or the end zone. He's just not being featured. He was drafted, and he's not really getting the opportunity. Where do you come in on that?
Yeah, I think that's the right way to approach it. He's not a bust in that he can't play, but he was overdrafted. And he was overdrafted by the way, a different GM,
right?
To be used by a different offensive coordinator. And I think that the injuries have severely limited his development. I think that he has clearly shown that his skill set is maybe not quite what we thought it could be. The hard part with him is people will tweet at me or whatever, oh, he's slow. Well, he ran a 4.5. But he just doesn't seem to play like it, and it's really hard to know because he's so smooth as an athlete. Is he moving at 4.5, or and it just doesn't look like he's moving that fast, or is he actually good at track and not as good at running on a football field? So I think that's the kind of the hard part to figure out, and I think at this point it seems like he's just not that quick, not that fast, can't separate. And the question with him is, can you trust him to then make the catches that, say, DeAndre Hopkins makes last night, right? You have some of these key situations where you throw it to him, and Des Bryant used to be the best at this, or just throw it to him, and he will figure out how to catch it. And in the end zone, where it's a jump ball situation, Josh has that. But when it's slants and comebacks and things like that, if you're a quarterback, those routes are scary because those are the routes that get jumped, and not just for interceptions, but for pick sixes. And it seems like between Cousins last year and Smith this year, Doctson has never been able to earn that trust to get some more of those other types of routes. And so for them right now, I think the play is, look, we got him. He's on our team. We can't really trade him because there's nobody that's going to want him. Cutting him is a waste of resources too. So let's just use Reed and Crowder and Thompson and all those guys who our offense is designed around to get the ball down inside the 30, and then we'll throw Doctson a jump ball and see if he can go do the one thing we actually knew he could do when he was drafted, and hopefully the rest of the game we don't need him. And that's obviously not what you want out of a first-round pick. I think the other element for Doctson, too, is the personality stuff, and it's just so hard to judge how they feel about him and how anybody should feel about him in terms of his desire, in terms of his passion for the game, and all that kind of stuff, which I'm not going to question, but I can't definitively tell you he's got it because he never talks. Like, I can tell you Jordan Reed, through all this injury stuff, that dude loves football. Josh Doctson, I don't. He seems to like football. He shows emotion when he makes plays, once every other couple of weeks. But it's very, very different than some of these guys who I know just how much this game means to them because Doctson just never talks to us. And, he might not care about that, but eventually that stuff matters in terms of getting your second contract and all that kind of stuff.
No, there's no second contract. There's no second contract.
That's a funny
I'm not saying
somewhere. He'll be lucky to live out his contract.
He's not going to be out of the league after next year.
I'm not saying that passion for it. He can't stay healthy. He's a huge bust. Huge bust. He might have talent. There are millions of guys that have talent that just don't make it.
He had 6 touchdowns last year. Like that matters.
So
that will get you
McCants.
That will get you a league minimum, a camp invite, stuff like that.
And then he'll fail there
he'll
too.
Get that, but
he'll fail there too.
He might float around for a couple of years, but
right. That's what I'm saying. He's not getting. We'll tell you what. There's no way unless things dramatically change. He's getting a second contract of any kind here. But there are. Think of how many teams convince themselves that players who are way worse than Josh Doctson, that they're the one that can fix him. Like, I think, and look, maybe Sean would be right with this. Like, I think McVay would take him and be like, yeah, I'll figure out how to use that guy.
Craig,
like, that's the thing. Like, when I say second contract, it's not like he's going to be one of the top flight receivers. Like, he'll catch on somewhere and maybe bounce around. He's not going to have a 4-year career and out. He'll have a 7-8 year career and out.
I don't know. I'm not sure I'd bet
We're doing
on that.
exactly what I said I wouldn't do, obsessing on Josh Doctson.
I mean, he's a non-factor on this team.
But I want to go
he's
back to what you said about trading him. I think if you could get anything for him, and if there's one party interested, you get a 7th-round pick. I think it might just be better for both parties.
You'd
if
get
that
more
happens.
use out of a bag of footballs.
Probably right.
You know.
But if you called McVay and said, give us a 7th rounder, we don't care. We just want him off the team. He can be your headache now. I would do that deal 5 minutes ago.
Yeah. Here's the thing, Craig. He has talent, and I'm sure he does. It's just not going to work. It's one of those things, for whatever reason. There have been guys here that have had plenty of talent, and it just doesn't work. It's fine.